Hello there, I'm Jim Glover, that branding guy for Once a Day Marketing. Today is Smart Monday, and we're starting a very short series on emotional branding and how you should bond with your customers on a personal level. What is emotional branding? Well, that's where you bond emotionally in the lives of your customers. And they're not customers, they're actually people. So I look at it as a two-way street. On the one side, you form your company, you offer a product because you want to really help your customers. And I think if that is your desire, that will flow back to your customers. These individuals out there, these people in the real world using your product. On the other side, when they use your product, they have an emotional attachment with your product. It might be that it makes them feel better. Think about a cookie store. You walk into a cookie store, you smell the cookies. Yeah, you're going to have a great little taste in your mouth in a moment, but it might even take you back to your grandmother's kitchen when you used to walk in there when she was making those cookies. And so now all of a sudden you are bonding with the customer, and they are bonding with you on a more personal level, and that's what emotional branding is all about. The best way for me to share more about emotional branding is to cite a couple of examples I've had with some brands that have touched me personally. The first is Disneyland. I had the opportunity as a very young kid to go to Disneyland when the theme park was just opening, and it was just something I will never forget. It wasn't so much about riding the Matterhorn, but it was the opportunity for me as a little kid to get to see all those Disney characters running around, to get to have the map that was the Disneyland theme park, to ride across to Tom Sawyer's Island and for a moment pretend I was Tom Sawyer hanging out with Huck Finn. Those all touched me inside as a young kid, and I will never forget those. On the other side, there's something called Team in Training. Perhaps you've heard of it. It's an organization that raises money for the Leukemia and Lymphoma Society. And I decided to do the Dublin Marathon with Team in Training, and they helped me train for my marathon. And they gave me the tools to raise money, and I had to raise $6,000 to go to this event. But when I passed the finish line at the end of the race, I knew I had raised money for cancer research, and that was a very good thing. But more, I felt so good about myself that I had taken time to run the marathon, to complete the marathon, and also help cancer patients in the process. That made me feel wonderful, and I will never forget that experience, and I will always be aligned with Team in Training because of it. You'd be surprised how many branding experts really don't understand the idea of emotional branding. So we're going to talk more about it tomorrow. We're going to be specifically looking at this book, Emotional Branding, by Mark Gobay, who's one of the top branding experts in the world. And he has something called the 10 Commandments of Emotional Branding, and we're going to be looking at that so that you can really start developing personalized relationships with your customers. That concludes our Smart Monday. Be sure to stop by for Strategic Tuesday tomorrow, where we continue our series on emotional branding. If you need some branding support, please contact me to discuss an online or face-to-face service engagement. That information can be found at the end of this video. I'm Jim Glover, that branding guy for Once a Day Marketing, and we'll see you next time.